What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I feel well, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Fun. I hear you. if you're referencing the all the smoke and all that, we actually had a lot of smoke here, but it wasn't it wasn't nearly as bad as of course it is up there. We didn't have that type of visibility problems. There is still smoke though in the atmosphere. I actually right before, and that's the reason why I'm a couple of minutes late getting the show started. I actually had taken the drone up just a little bit ago, and I wanted to do another take, another try, if you will, at getting getting a good setup going. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, sorry, lost track. I have no idea what the hell. Oh, okay. Sorry, checking emails, all that. I'm trying to multitask. Anyway, scratch what I was saying. I took the drone up and just took some couple of AEB pictures. So I figured I would try what I did the other day. I didn't have very much to work with the other day. Today, luckily, I went out when I did, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have had anything to work with today. What am I talking about? Let me find the stupid screen. I believe it's this one. Yeah, that one. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I was doing the other day. There was a little more color today, a little more, exciting stuff to see. So let me click the right one. There it is. Open the software. Oops, not that. I want the folder. I said the folder. Okay. So I've got to drag this folder at least partially off, so it's easier for me to get to. I'll come up here and we go to our library. And gonna control all of those pictures there. And import them. Import. And we're going to let them all get loaded up. Highlight them all. I'm going to right click and click Photo Merge HDR Panorama. Panorama. Or not. I don't know. I think this stuff is pretty cool. And the fact that the software does all of that stuff for us and just pushes out an incredible image just straight out of it without even toying with anything, playing with anything. It's pretty incredible software, that's for sure. Okay, so now we've got that. We are going to develop. That looks pretty awesome. And what I do is first thing, as I said the other day, I come in, I grab the clarity, and I crank it up. Why? Because I like whites, right? It is what it is. I like whites. And then I come in and I crank up the haze. Why? Because I like clears. You know what I mean? Clears. Now, a lot of people would, people that actually know what they're doing, would tell you that I'm an idiot for this. Because there's other ways to achieve the same thing without so much destruction of the image. But the important thing to know about the difference between them and I is they know what they're doing. I don't. So anyway, makes a difference. A little bit of a difference. So, however, like with much in life, I had learned through trial and error how to get at least acceptable results. Alright. Gonna take it up. I took it right till it got red. Why? I don't know. I'm telling you, I do not know what I'm doing. So, we're gonna take our shadows here and we'll bump them up just a little. Not a lot. And the reason why I say not a lot is because what this is doing essentially is this is taking, let's see, they're 5-shot AV, so it's taking 15 photos is what it's doing. It's taking 15 pictures, and it's stacking them in 3 stacks. They're stacking them, 5, 5, and 5, the pictures. They're 5 pictures of the same thing with a different EV. So in other words, you're going to have lighter ones, you're going to have, darker ones. And what this is doing is it's taking all of those, it's taking all 5 of those pictures, actually 15, but work with me here. It's taking 5 of those pictures and it's stacking them. And at the same time, it's retaining all of their data. So you get the best benefits of the highs, the lights and the darks and all of that. You get the best benefits of all of it. And it lets you stack them and bring out exactly what it is that you're looking for. That's essentially the HDR part of it. And then the panorama part, of course, is it takes those 3 stacks of 5 pictures and it stitches those together to give you a wide picture. So that's what I'm doing here. And it's taking these 15 images down at the bottom here and doing that with it. So a little explanation as to what it is the software is doing. Anyway, so I'm going to take my whites and I'm going to bring them up, but I'm going to pay close attention because I don't want to make anything too bright. And in fact, yeah, I'm just barely. In fact, I think I'm going to back it back down till that's red. And then my blacks. I'm probably going to pull my blacks up just a hair. A lot of times I pull them down, but... yeah, see, I like that down better. Maybe something like that. And how about we just pull a little bit of high. There we go. We got a yellow on each side. What does that mean? I have no freaking clue. But hey, we got a yellow on both sides. And that looks probably about as good as I'm going to get it. So, come over. File. Export. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, just export, homie. And so that did that one. And, hang on. Yep, this is it. That is the image that, we just edited. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, I just wanted to, let me get back out of that. Wanted to show you guys again with a little bit of a better sky. So, and I definitely think I got a better sky tonight. But, to work with, so. Anywho, I'm done with show and tell. So I asked a poll question. Because one thing I often entertain, not often, but one thing I will entertain myself with, there's not a whole lot. And what I'm talking about is the things that could never happen. You know, the what ifs. I don't really, I don't do a lot of what if stuff. But I will ponder what different things I would say, what different questions I would ask, if I had the opportunity to ask different people, both living and dead. And it just came, I don't know, it just smacked me today. If I could ask the founding fathers about anything, what would I ask them about? And I didn't want to just jump straight into that because, I mean, there's a lot of good answers. There's really a lot of good answers. And I was curious what other people would ask. Myself, the first thing that comes to mind is I would like their guidance on what we should do about the internet. Because the internet is a place that has both a lot of light and a lot of darkness. And it is largely the belief that the only way that you can have freedom involves taking that risk of that darkness. So what do you do? How do you deal with it? And I honestly think I know a lot of the response that I would get. Because for one, the way the Founding Fathers thought is how we should all be looked at as individuals, period. End of discussion. We should all be looked at as individuals, and every situation should be looked at individually. And the Founding Fathers of this nation really firmly felt that. It was about independence, individual independence. It's not about saying we're free. No. See, it's not supposed to be about we're free. And a lot of people might think that sounds a little crazy, but it's the truth. It's not supposed to be about we're free. It's supposed to be about I'm free. And when I say I'm free, I mean that to every single one of you. Because it's about individual liberty. They were very adamant about individual liberty. So, taking what information that I have, that I know, about the Founding Fathers and pondering it, like I said, I think I get some of the things. For one, they would say, maybe for once we should start actually enforcing the laws that we have. That might help, I've got a story right here. New York City installs free crack pipe dispensers. How in the hell, right? I mean, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. So, again, back to the original question of mine that I have for the Founding Fathers, and it would be about the internet. Because it's really being used to hurt people. In so many ways. And, the options that I see are having an internet ID, meaning all of us have an internet ID like our social security number, right? Be kind of one of the same kind of thing. And I'm good with that. Personally, I'm good with that. Why? Because I stand behind everything I say. I stand behind it. I don't just run off at the mouth. I stand behind it. I will live by it. I will die by it. It's the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to just run off at the mouth. So I'm good with an internet ID. Absolutely. Again, the funny thing is for so many years I had people tell me, don't do anything wrong and you got nothing to worry about. And guess which team that always came from? Because it was always a team-affiliated thing, right? You go ask them about an internet ID, and they'll be, oh, hell no, that's the mark of the beast. Right, Red Team? And why? Because they don't want to take responsibility for freedom, self-accountability, for their freedom. You may be free to do things. You may be free to say things. But you're not necessarily free of the consequences. And that's what I think everybody needs to understand, whether it be the trans right freaks or whether it be everybody. Everybody needs to understand that. And have a mutual respect. We don't have to agree with one another. We don't have to even understand one another. But we all need to leave one another alone. Period. And when I say that, I mean not only leave it alone as in one side doesn't bother the other side, but it also means that one side doesn't force shit on the other side either. I believe very heavily in private ownership. I believe that as a business that you absolutely have the right to refuse service to anyone for any reason at any time. That's a private business. I don't know what to tell people. There are only some things that I don't think that quote-unquote private business or private whatever property, there are only a handful of things that I don't think that should be able to trump. One of those things being the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. Yeah, I don't believe that they should. I don't think no gun zone should be allowed anywhere, not even in somebody's home. No, I think somebody's right to self-protection outweighs your property rights. Somebody's right to self-preservation outweighs your property rights. Period. Life is worth more than property. Period. See, I thought about a lot of this stuff in a little bit of depth. And I'm not just talking about today. I mean, I have done this all my life. I've thought about different questions I would ask different people. And even with playing that game, it's a game. And even in me playing that little game, I answer a lot of questions. It's interesting. It's a fun game to play. You should try it. I don't think that the Founding Fathers would be good about an internet ID. I don't. I don't think they'd be good with that. Nope, not at all. I believe the Founding Fathers would want 100% anonymity. But we have a bit of a wisdom that the Founding Fathers didn't. And that is the wisdom of what happens when you open up a worldwide instantaneous line of communication, and the effects after a couple of decades, few decades. See, the reason why the Founding Fathers made such wise decisions when they wrote the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, was because they had just gone through it. It was all very fresh to them as to why they needed, why the things that they were demanding were so important. What they did not have the knowledge and wisdom of is a 20, 30-year internet issue. So, and I don't mean to knock the Founding Fathers, but I'm not quite so sure that they would be the best qualified to answer the question about internet. Just to be quite honest. Because they don't have the wisdom. They don't have the experience. Not saying they weren't smart. Not saying they weren't capable. I mean, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights they came up with far outdoes anything that we've ever had, or I think we'll ever have. I think they really did a bang-up job. But I also believe that they meant that it was a living document and that things would have to be considered, things would have to be changed, I think they meant that. They didn't mean it in a manner as a living document as to that your initial Bill of Rights, the right to bear arms, the right to free speech. No, that stuff, no. That's not supposed to be touched, period, ever. But past the original document, the original amendments, they left room for changes, including major changes. But I still don't think that they ever, even for a remote moment, considered ever changing at least the first 10 amendments. I don't think they wanted those to be able to be touched. Which is why they call them unalienable, or as some people would prefer to call it, unalienable. Well, because there are two meanings and legal, lawful kind of stuff. So, not the same thing. Unalienable and unalienable are two totally different things. And we technically have unalienable rights, not unalienable. But I digress. Let's see. Oh, wow. I don't get notifications for crap on Facebook. They hate me. Anyway, I've got a lot of news to cover. I've got 2 nights of stuff that I wanted to go over. My apologies for not being here last night. I kicked my own ass yesterday, I'm telling you. I was at it pretty hard and heavy. I didn't go out and touch a damn thing today. But tomorrow I'll likely be back out there and get finished up what I got started. Won't take but maybe a couple, 2 or 3 more hours, and that should be good. I am really hell-bent to be able to walk into that big shed and be able to walk up to something. I haven't even looked, to be honest, on the votes. Yep, just 1 vote, I guess, so far. Vote, you handful of peoples. Let's see. Anywho, tomorrow I'll get that finished up. I want to be able to walk into that shed and just go straight to something and be able to get it. Not only that, but I want to actually have, like things in like places, computer stuff here and, bike stuff here and stuff that I can just walk up to, like I say, and grab it, shop back there, you know, just be able to pick up and go instead of having to unbury it, take a half an hour to unbury it first, you know. I hate living like that, and it got real bad going into last winter, and it got real bad in the shed, so that's why I put my foot down with myself and said, man, come spring cleaning, me and them sheds are going to have a talk, and we have, and it's been pretty awesome. We have gotten rid of a bunch of crap that we didn't need. I've gotten rid of a bunch of boxes that I no longer need because the warranties are over for the stuff, so I still had the box for the first mixer that I had, that I got a decal with. This decal, being that this is a lesser model than what the original one I had was, this one came with no decal. So, yeah. Anyway, no, we found a bunch of stuff. Little baggies, right? Little baggies. No, I'm not selling drugs, but at one time we were messing with kratom, and that was a great thing to put a dose of kratom in. You know, I mean, like the capsules. And so you could put a dose worth in these little bitty baggies. That's why we bought them. Anyway, what I'm doing with them is taking latex gloves, a pair, folding them up and stuffing them in them. They're little bitty Ziploc bags, okay? And you can simply grab one of these bags and just, it tears really easy. You don't smoke kratom, you ingest it. So, you can put it in capsules, or if you can stand it, you just, it's insane for pain, man. I'm going to tell you straight up, the kratom, I'm not giving medical advice, blah, 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 blah. Kratom is the only thing that would help relieve my pain on a level, in a sense, as hydrocodone. I mean, it's really messed up, dude. It's really messed up. Just again, I can't give medical advice or anything like that. Seek your physician, whatever, or you can absolutely, it's an option. You can go to New York City and get a free crack pipe. I mean, it's there for you. It's there for you. But that's not what I would recommend, nor am I recommending anything in particular, whether it be kratom or a crack pipe. But I'm telling you, dude, kratom's some kick-ass stuff. I'm just saying from my personal experience. And it doesn't give you that. It isn't something that you could, I don't, in my opinion, think you could really abuse it, because it doesn't give you that high like you can get off, and I call it a high, but the obviously effect that you get from taking and abusing hydrocodone, it won't do that. So, in other words, if you're looking to relieve pain, absolutely incredible. So, if you're looking for a buzz, not so much. Yeah, okay. Right on. Is your mom having issues because of them not giving her? Is she's having withdrawals and stuff like that? Is that something she's dealing with? Because I can tell you right now, Again, I can't give medical advice, blah, 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 bullshit. But there are a large number of individuals that have used kratom to get off and away from their hydrocodone addiction. So, no withdrawals, that's great. If she did, they would help. So, if that's the situation you're talking about dealing with, that would, my opinion, that would be the route that I would take. So, yikes. And that's it, huh? No more? Yeah. Oh, she only had 6 ever, you mean? I guess. You'll have to clarify. But yeah, definitely. It's definitely good for pain. So, for me it was. Anyway, that's that's what I'm doing with these baggies, though. And I'm putting 2 latex gloves in them. And they'll go in, I've already got some that are in bug out bags and the med kit and all that. So I'm just going to do up a bunch of extras. And this is a great option, man. Again, there's 2 latex gloves in there. You just grab it and you toss it at somebody, right? Somebody needs gloves, you grab one, you just chuck it. I mean, you can chuck one of these pretty good distance. So you can just chuck, and get people protected while they're trying to help others during a possible mass casualty event of some form, right? That's what I'm doing. So I got shit tons of these baggies. I'm going to need to buy some more gloves. I mean, I've got plenty. I've got about 3/4 of a box here, but gloves are an important thing. And in my opinion, it's important to be able to access them, rather quickly. And I'm not a medical person at all, but I'm not an idiot either. I think that's the one thing I would add if I was Bear. Would be something similar to that idea. To where that, they could just tear something like that off and have their gloves. Because I know he's got gloves in his kit. But it would be really, really nice and handy. Because, again, the reason I thought of that is because you can chuck it. You can rip it out of the kit and chuck it at somebody. I mean, alright. I guess really we've been here for 40 minutes and I haven't started any news, and I've got a shit ton of news. Maybe we ought to get started on it. Did anybody else answer, by the way? No. Still one vote. Opinion on society. And I would choose, myself, I would choose opinion on law, because it would be the internet thing. But I want their opinion on it, but I won't let it outweigh the opinion of people that are living currently. Because again, the founding fathers don't have the experience of the internet that we do. It's not a knock to them, it's just the way it is. Let's see. Pardon me. Kick on over. Now I've got actually like 2 pages set up here. This is the first one, and this is, I've got 4 tabs open. This is from yesterday's news. So we've got New York City installs free crack pipe dispensers. It says New York City's first public health vending machine stocked with free drug paraphernalia and unveiled on a corner of Brooklyn's drug-infested Brownsville neighborhood on Monday, had already been cleaned out of almost all its contents 24 hours later, the New York Post reported on Tuesday. Well stocked with safer smoking kits containing free crack pipes, safer sniffing equipment, fentanyl testing strips, overdose reversing Narcan nasal sprays, nicotine gum, and condoms, because, I mean, if you don't want to chew on one, you could chew on the other, I guess. On Monday morning, the big blue box contained just one overdose reversal kit and a pair of testing strips the next day. So it's a very popular thing, apparently. Doesn't mean it's a good thing. What in the hell are these people thinking? Oh, we're going to better our communities by giving out free crack pipes. All right. Anybody can help me with the logic behind that? Howdy, Christopher. Thank you. I mean, so that's going on. A lot of combat going on in Ukraine. This again is from yesterday, and I want to be perfectly straight from the get-go and say that in war, you never get the right numbers. Nobody's going to give you the right numbers. Neither side. Nobody is going to give you the right numbers. However, I'm more inclined to believe Russia's numbers over Ukraine's. Although I think that Russia probably expanded a little bit. I could be wrong. So, you're probably aware that the Ukraine, they definitely tried some form of an offensive that failed miserably. And solid numbers that I've heard, I would say a couple thousand on the Ukrainian side perished. I think I would be more inclined to believe that number. Here in this particular article says 3,715 personnel since June 4th. Again, this article was yesterday's. They claim also 52 tanks, 207 armored vehicles, 134 cars, 5 airplanes, 2 helicopters, 48 field artillery pieces, and 53 drones. So, apparently that's what Russia is claiming Ukraine has lost. Now, on their side, they say, while defeating the adversary's attempt to advance, the Russian military suffered 71 dead, 210 wounded, and the destruction of 15 tanks, 9 armored vehicles, 2 cars, and 9 artillery pieces, according to Shoigu. So, again, who knows if that's even remotely accurate. I can tell you, there was even video that has been released, just absolutely horrific video. And I'm telling you, Ukraine took heavy losses. So, I'm gonna keep doubling down on what I've been saying, that this conflict probably isn't gonna go past fall. Yeah, I mean, when you run out of people to throw through the shredder, you just run out of people to throw through the shredder, you know? I mean, the only other options for NATO to get full-on directly involved, and I'm not convinced that's going to happen yet. I was for a while there, to be honest. I'm not so sure. Not so sure. I have a sneaky suspicion that this might kind of just back down like it did before with Crimea and all that, and I think they'll have the annexing and all. I think pretty much the same thing happened, and that'll be that. I think our attention right now would probably be better served, not only at our own government in on us, but also as far as possible military conflict. I would say keep your eye on, obviously, China, and let's not forget about Iran and North Korea. So, have a feeling it wouldn't be wise to take our eyes off them. Let's see. Whistleblower has came out. I'm sure you've heard about this. It's been quite the talk of alternative media. Note I say alternative media because mainstream media is too busy trying to push their crazy bullshit narratives. But, and at the same time, this is meant as somewhat of a distraction. But now I'd been watching The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and to be real honest, as a matter of fact, hiding up here behind that window is the latest episode of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch that I was watching before I started the show here, and in which I will continue to watch when I'm done with the show here. So, what are my thoughts on this? Well, I've believed in UFOs for a long time. And, speaking of that, kind of a fun fact, if you will. The cat that's on this latest episode of Skinwalker Ranch is actually the guy that came up with the term UAP. He is literally the guy that came up with the term. And he explained why. He basically said they wanted something that would be kind of disassociated from little green men, is what he said. So, whatever. I'm not a fan of the change. I'll never be a fan of the change because I don't understand what the hell's wrong with an unidentified flying object. I fail to see what's wrong with that title. Do I believe they're hiding alien spaceships? I think they're hiding a lot more than that. A whole lot more than that. In fact, I have my suspicions on a lot more involvement than that. We'll see. It really sucks. I'm almost out of coffee already. You've obviously, I'm sure, heard also about a major dam that was destroyed. And, there's back and forth as to who's responsible for it. There's, of course, energy production affected because a hydroelectric dam was involved. There's just tons and tons and tons of destruction as a result of this. A lot of this stuff, when it comes to like Nord Stream, and when it comes to this dam, and when it comes to the Crimean Bridge, every time these events happen, they always want to try to blame it on Russia, and it doesn't make any sense for Russia to be doing these things, right? That's just like the whole, every time they'd come up with the bullshit chemical weapons attack claim, right? And I'm talking our government coming up with their bullshit claims. Man, they use that bullshit lie so many times. Erdogan or the president of Syria or whatever, they're not gonna they're not going to be doing that to their own people. They're not the ones that'll do that to their own people. You want to know the kind of people that will do that to their own people? People like Zelensky. People like Joe Biden. Those are the kind of people. People like, oh, I absolutely believe that Netanyahu wouldn't be a bit afraid to take out anybody if it furthered his agenda. I don't like that son of a bitch for a second. It makes no sense for Russia to do this. And in fact, it doesn't necessarily give Ukraine a tactical advantage, but it takes away a little bit of a tactical advantage, well, more than a little bit, from Russia. So you have to kind of look at all the angles and then kind of make your best assessment as to who had more to win, who had more to lose. I don't think Russia would have did this. I think it was Ukraine. Anywho, that covers those articles, and I know you got a black screen there for a moment till I click on Google, and boom, we're back. Hello. This is today's news. I told you I had 2 different windows open, so I could keep the days separate. And we've got a lot more tabs for today. How many do I got here? 9? Holy hell, we're going to be here till midnight. No, I'm kidding. Calm down, we're going to be okay. Yeah. I'm always getting hot for something. Oh, man. Let's see. So I do notice that we've had 3 votes up there. 2 of them are for opinion on society, and 1 of them is on opinion on law. So if I had actually a vote, it won't let me vote. So, but I would vote opinion on law, so it would technically be 50-50. So, yeah, they're absolutely discriminatory. They won't let me vote. Taking away my voice. Alright, it seems like I recall somebody, and I can't remember who the guy was. But, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, was talking about how he knew damn well that Iran had hypersonic weapons and nuclear weapons as well, but not necessarily the 2 together, maybe not yet, but they definitely have nuclear weapons by now, and I was pretty damn certain on the hypersonic weapons. And well, what can I say? I've been at this for a long time, folks, and I'm not talking about the news. I'm talking about staying ahead of what they're telling us. Been at it my entire life. Not always right, but much more often than not. As you see, Iran claims hypersonic breakthrough. Article says Iran has unveiled a new hypersonic missile which it claims can travel at speeds of up to Mach 15. President Ibrahim Raisi stated the new weapon would help to ensure that lasting security in the region. Dubbed the Fatah, meaning conqueror, in Farsi. The missile was announced on Tuesday by top officials at an event in Tehran. They declared the projectile would be the first in a new generation of weapons for Iranian forces, according to the local media reports. Today, we feel that the deterrent power has been formed. This power is an anchor of lasting security and peace for the regional countries, President Raisi said at the ceremony. Brigadier General Amir Ali Haji, I don't know how to say that last name, who heads the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force, also shared details about the weapon, stating it had a maximum range around 870 miles. While officials shared no footage of the Fatah successfully striking a target, he said that the missile's engine had undergone a ground test without issues. There exists no system that can rival or counter this missile, the general claimed. He went on to display a model of the Fatah on stage, appearing to show that the missile has a movable rocket nozzle, possibly allowing it to change course mid-flight to evade enemy air defenses. Tuesday's announcement came not long after Tehran said it would reopen its diplomatic mission in Saudi Arabia following years of hostility with the Gulf Kingdom, and coincided with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's latest trip to Riyadh. So, and even RT's information is not complete here, because it says they initially claimed the Islamic Republic had developed its own hypersonic weapon late last year, though offered no evidence for the assertion at the time and shared few details about the system. To date, and there's one missing here, only a small handful, no, we didn't, this is wrong, says to date, only a small handful of nations have successfully fielded hypersonic munitions given the advanced technology involved, including the U.S., Russia, and China. No, we have not. We have not yet successfully launched a hypersonic missile. Sorry, hasn't happened yet. And the third country that has is North Korea. So you got North Korea, Russia, and China. All Iran has to do is finish their prototype and have a successful launch, and you can add them to the list as well. So, does it have me quivering in my boots? No. Does China's? No. Does Russia's? No. Why? Because I can't. What am I going to do? Shoot it with a slingshot? What am I going to do? Why am I going to let it worry me? What good is that going to do? I've been down that road. I was the young kid that just got done watching The Day After, leaving notes around in weird places, just in case if it happened, maybe somebody in the future might run across the notes. The idea of nuclear conflict held fear over me for a very large part of my life. And probably a good part of it is I'm at the point in my life now, I just, whatever, get it over with. I find the next article that I have here interesting. Not true, but interesting. Israel's response is that they can beat any Iranian weapon. No, you can't. This is what concerns me when it comes to the nuclear weapons today. This is the biggest concern I have as to a conflict being started. Would be this bullshit pride, this bullshit ego, and a nation calling them on their cards. Israel's not that big of a country. Wouldn't take but a couple of well-placed nukes and it's gone. Boom, gone. you shot 20 hypersonic nukes at Israel, there ain't no damned way you're going to stop 20 of them. I don't know that you'll stop one. These countries are getting tired of being pissed on and held down by larger countries. Much just because they have the power to do so. You know, I spent a fair amount of tonight's broadcast at the beginning talking about freedom, talking about individual liberty. And I would be an absolute hypocrite if I didn't believe that other nations had the right to that same individual liberty that I do. I'm not good with countries saying, oh, this country can't own nukes, this country can't do this country can't do that. Why? Why? You only do that, you only have that mindset when you want the ability to take advantage of others. When you don't have that kind of a motivation, you got no problems with individual liberty. Anyway, let me kind of run through these kind of quick. Moscow rekindles economic ties with Cold War ally. You got it, Christopher. Pride comes before the fall. Absolutely. Cuba, if you will. This isn't that good. Not good news. Not good news. I have long suspected that this was going to happen. I suspect that Russia is going to take a much more upfront role in Cuba, just like I think China is going to take a much more upfront role in Mexico. Possibly Canada, because they're like already there. FBI and Ukrainian spies conspired to censor Twitter users. Targeted RT and other places. Went after them for misinformation, yada, yada, yada. We all know that this stuff's been going on. Instagram. An article about Instagram connecting pedophiles. Article from Wall Street Journal. Of course, I would like to point out Instagram being a company owned by Meta, which would be Mark Zuckerberg and the Facebook mafia. So, there's that. And get this. Because, you know, child porn peddlers use codes like cheese pizza. Now, wait a minute here. Now, I thought we were all just a bunch of wackaloons for talking about Pizzagate. Another shooting happened, and of course, they keep calling these events mass shootings. This one actually don't even qualify for a mass shooting, but they're trying to throw it in with the pile too. And clearly, there was some type of a connection. It wasn't just somebody walking in, you know. I don't think that this stuff, you know, when it's rivals or when it's two groups getting into it with one another, stuff like that, I'm sorry, but I don't think those numbers, those statistics have any right being in with the mass shooting statistics. There's a difference between a cat walking in to a no-gun zone or what have you, a theater, a school, whatever, with a firearm and just shooting innocent people, and two groups of people fighting one another on the street. There's a big difference in between those two events. lumping them all together is being done so for an agenda. And you already know that. I'm speaking to the choir. DHS wanted to track internet users with risk score, says a think tank. Not surprising. Not surprising. You better believe that they did it, that it's continuing to go on and will continue to go on. Putin discusses joint projects with Saudi Crown Prince. I've been talking about how you're going to see much closer ties between the Middle East countries, right? And the entirety of the UAE and the BAE and all that stuff, man. You're gonna see them all get closer to both Russia and China and Iran as well. You're seeing that happen quite a bit. And then the last tab I have open before we get to headlines. I'm trying to move through these kind of quickly because I've been jabbering a lot. Fox News tries to silence Tucker Carlson, and boy, it's crazy. 70 million views, something like that, just absolutely stunning numbers. And the leftist media is flipping out, even, Fox News is flipping out. Everybody's trying to shut this guy down, whether it's lying about how well his episode performed, or Fox News threatening with contract violation. Right now, it's pivotal. Right now, we have no more time. We have to put our feet down. We are out of time. Out. There is no more. No more time to vote. No more time to play them kind of games. Time we fix this. Because if they get all of the media, we're done. We're done. Not far from it right now. Alright. I've got headlines backed up to yesterday since I wasn't here. Get a little bit of nicotine in me and we'll roll them out. Oh, man. I am sore today. Not quite as sore as I was last night when I went to bed, but holy hell. There was a lot of stuff packed in those sets. A lot of stuff. And the video I put out, I didn't show you. I didn't show you what it looked like at its worst. It was a mess back there. There was stuff everywhere back there. Like I say, I'll likely get out there tomorrow. I did do flying today. Flew a Hawker Hunter. Gosh, what else did I fly? A little Embraer for a little bit just to check it out. F-18 for a little while. I don't know. Osprey for a little while. I just love that Osprey. Oh, man. chase some A320s. I did that in the F-18, the Hawker Hunter. All right. Starting with yesterday's news. Macron opposes NATO plans in Asia. Hydroelectric dam in Kherson partially destroyed, says mayor. EU seeking crackdown on AI. Russian seaborne diesel exports dive. Dubai revives abandoned mega project. Nordic nations have been under NATO's thumb for a decade, says Lavrov. Ukraine considered dirty bomb attack against Russia, says FSB. Tech giant bypasses sanctions to supply Russian market, says Kommersant. Minsk agreements allowed me to arm Ukraine, says ex-president. City of Novaya Kakhovka flooded after dam destruction, says mayor. I actually covered that. European Council president accuses Russia of war crime. Dollar was used to attack Russia, says minister. Ukraine's attacks are reconnaissance, says New York Times. Eurozone economy slowing down, says ECB. EU's top court deals blow to Warsaw. Russia will never again accept U.S. rules, says Lavrov. EU is running out of money, says Handelsblatt. Ex-Ukrainian president suggests outcomes of conflict with Russia. Let's see. Ukraine blew up Kakhovka Dam as revenge for failed offensive, says Kremlin. Kiev orders monks to vacate iconic monastery. Indian firm bets big on Russian factory. EU nation decries sanctions hysteria. Russian officials weigh in on Kakhovka Dam rupture effects. Western journalists face huge censorship in Ukraine, says media. Actually, I covered that one. And that one. Video shows NATO-supplied tanks being destroyed by Russian forces. Ukraine rebuffs Vatican peace attempt. U.S. knew Ukraine planned to sabotage Nord Stream, says Washington Post. Advocacy group declares LGBT emergency. Serbia making westward pivot, says Financial Times. Iran officially reopens embassy in Saudi Arabia. That's a notable event. People ask me, where's Ukraine, says German foreign minister. Let's see. Russia reveals battle casualties. I covered that, actually. A U.S. judge blocks ban on transitioning kids. I covered that. A Russian writer who survived car bombing gets a medal. China worried about potential nuclear catastrophe. Russia holds West responsible for dam disaster, says UN envoy. And then we are to today's news. One moment. Back, it's killing me. All right. Cover today's headlines and get the heck out of here. Tucker Carlson steamrolls Ukraine propaganda in new show. Arms sent to Ukraine could end up elsewhere, says Hungary. EU's economic engine grinding to a halt. Let's see. Russian nuclear giant looks to replace Western medical devices. Iran claims hypersonic... Oh, cover that. Russia warns Belgium over militia weapons claims. UK seeking to overthrow Belgrade government, says Serb leader. Let's see. People missing after Kakova Dam destruction, says city mayor. Russian economy returning to growth, says World Bank. Snowden reveals why he chose to stay in Russia. Zelensky could be killed by his masters, says Medvedev. Sanctions blocking exports of electronics to Russia, says Kommersant. Ukraine attempted to attack homes linked to Russian officers, says NBC. Self-driving taxis appear on Moscow streets. Russian energy project shakes off sanctions. U.S. seeks to freeze assets of world's biggest crypto exchange. Ukraine fires more than 500 shells at Belgorod region, says governor. Disneyland cast go on strike. Netflix hit delayed due to writer's strike, says Variety. Another sports federation readmits Russians and Belarusians. Transgender Anne Frank impersonator arrested for murder. Imagine that. Putin calls for Russian economic sovereignty. Watchdog suggests banning one of Germany's leading parties. EU fears fatigue over Ukrainian refugees. CNN fires CEO for being soft on Trump. Putin labels Kakova Dam attack a barbaric act. Wildfire smoke blankets eastern U.S. Belarus pardons Russian girlfriend of Western-backed activist Protasevich. Prince Harry testifies in phone hacking case. EU investigates Poland over Russian influence law. Russia seeks to replace Nazi regime in Ukraine, says security chief. NATO has doubled forces in Eastern Europe since 2021. Zelensky shocked at cold shoulder from the UN. Western nations fret over rising Arctic tensions, says Financial Times. Turkey blocks OnlyFans, says media. Russia tells U.S. government to publish truth about JFK assassination. That would be nice. IAEA issues warning about Europe's largest nuclear plant. And lastly here, Pentagon defends LGBT priorities. Because we already covered the Fox News bit. I mean, the last I knew, our military wasn't supposed to talk about social issues. I don't understand this. Anyway, I am going to get the hell out of here and go to bed. I am tired. Been tired. Been just wore out all day. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be good and recovered so I can get the job finished up and be done with that out there, for now at least. Anyway, I am out of here. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again to close up the week. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.